How y'all doing, everybody? I'm so great to have you all here with us today. You all win our part two of our Black History Month, where we're going to be talking about the Black impact. All right. So you all, we have a near dear not colleague at one time, but teacher, mentor, and such a great inspiration to young children throughout his lifetime of the education field. We have Mr. Robert Allen here with us today, and he's going to be our highlight today. He's an educator in Prince George County Public School System. And let me tell you something, we're talking about a man with a purpose. This man has a purpose to help children, and he's been doing it for such a long time. He was my teacher back in sixth grade, and I never forget the lesson he taught me to this day, and I love him, and I appreciate everything he's done for my life. I know many kids feel the same way. So it's a pleasure to have you on, Mr. Allen.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm great, man. I can't complain. I'm happy to see you looking fresh. Got the
Good
fresh
to see
glasses
you
on.
too. Good to see you too. And thank you for inviting me, man. I
Of
really
course, man. Like I
appreciate it.
told you, you are inspiration, and this is something different. We wanted to switch the impact from always looking at athletes or famous people in music, whatever. We need to focus on our local heroes, and you are one of them.
Thanks
So
so much for thinking of me that way, man.
already,
I
you got
appreciate
to. So we're gonna start it off, and we're gonna touch a couple questions, and we're gonna go back and forth with dialect, and we're gonna talk about more stuff, and we can. So
it.
all
Okay,
right,
cool.
so let's go. So all right, Mr. Allen, here we go. What led you to become an educator?
Okay. Well, I guess what led me. Well, first of all, my grandmother uh, taught me so much. She only had an eighth grade education, but she was the smartest person I knew. Um, she could do algebra, man. She said they had algebra when they were in school, and she was really rolling. But at that time, she couldn't continue. She had to work, because she was like an orphan living with her uncle.
Right.
Uh, so she didn't have parents, and so she lived with her uncle and whatnot. And he thought that it was that eighth grade education was far enough. That's all she needed, because women at that time and being a young girl, that she should go to work. So she had to drop out of school and she went to work. But she was really, really smart, and she made sure that I studied, and she made sure that I knew things, and became interested in reading and just knowing different things. And she always took me around for walks, and she told me what this was and what that was, and made sure that I knew. And then she would quiz me on it, that I know. I didn't think that she wouldn't say to me, well, let's have a quiz, but we'd be out and she would like go back over things that she had told me. And so then I knew that. And I liked school. I liked school, but I was more interested in entertaining
Mm.
and singing and being in a singing group, because it was like 60s, and so we were singing on the street corner and everything else, so my interest was there. But I said, well, okay, you get into that, what's plan B? The singing thing was plan A, so what's plan B? What am I going to do if it doesn't work? So I went to DC Teachers College.
Hold on
And
one second, Al. Just wanted to tell people he can sing, y'all. I'm talking about sing. You talking about somebody can sing. I'm sorry, I had to put it out there. I'm sorry, Al. I'm sorry.
I well,
I ain't
thank
put
you.
you on blast like that, but I had to tell the
Okay,
folks.
that's okay. I
Wow, that's
appreciate
true.
I appreciate it all.
Some people say they can sing, but you can sing, Mr. Allen. I never forget you singing. I tell you.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's all right. I appreciate it all. All the accolades. I accept everyone. But anyway, so, I wanted to sing. So I went to teachers college though. And it was a great school. It prepared you to be an educator. And I said, well, if I don't make it singing, then I wanted to teach, because I thought of my grandmother. And then I used to work in community, my community. So I did Head Start, and then I had like a little recreation thing in the afternoon. So I had to work with children, and I had all the kids in the neighborhood at the little like after school thing. So we did that, and so I went on, and then I liked it. When I went out student teaching, first you go out observing. When I went out observing, and then I began to work with the kids, and I saw how it went, and I saw how once I got in the classroom and began to move around, and how the kids like were attracted to me and my personality, because I used it there, just me, because I'm always going to be just me. That's all I know how to be, is just me. And then I thought that the kids liked me for who I was, and so when I went on, because then you go from observation to student teaching, and then I knew that I could do it. I had always never wanted to really speak in public because I stutter every once in a while. Well, I stuttered then anyway.
Yeah.
But as I got older then and began to learn the defenses and then what to do about it, I began, I got better at speaking out, speaking. So I went on and I said, well, I'm quite sure there may be some child who stutters, and then I could be the one to show them what to do and how to move through it, let them know that it's all right, that it's not that it's not their fault or whatever. And so I went on and then I was singing and doing little things because I said, well, I'll go sing. But I wanted to hold on to what I had learned in college, so I began to substitute teach. So if I
Mhm.
wasn't out singing or on the road anywhere, I would come into and I would substitute teach. And so I substituted for quite a while, just substitute taught. And and then I got married, I had a son, and then my son began to grow up, and I said, well, I'm not doing too well singing, because there were so many groups out there, and though we were good, it was like, nah, you really had to move away from DC to make it. And so because I had grown up without a dad, being really close to me in my life, I decided that I would never leave my son. If God granted a son to me, that I would always be there.
Right.
So I decided that I would go into teaching, and then I would just stay, and I would just sing for fun or what have you. And so I began to teach. And then once I began to teach, I began to love it
Mm.
and love it and love it. And I watched the kids come in, and they got attached, and they would pick up what I was doing because they trusted me. You know what I'm saying? They began to trust me, and they were accepting of what I had to give. And then that's what I liked. And that made me want to stay. It made me want to stay. It made me want to just continue to help them grow. And then I began to teach, to show them things in different books and things. And all the way back, I would think about my grandmother, how she took me out. So it was like, hey, let me tell you about this and about that. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to check on you and see if you remember what it was. And then they began to do it. And so I just loved it, man. And each year, it just became more and more. So it's just a deep passion now, which is why I
Mm.
still do it. Even though I retired in
Yeah.
19, even though I retired in 19, I came back because I realized that, hey, there's more that I can do. And
Right.
there are more children that I can reach. And so I do it. And I do it for the love of it, man. I do it for the
That's,
love.
hey, but I didn't know you had stutter problem. I never knew that. I never knew you had that. It's because you knew I had that problem. I used to
Mhm.
go to sleep when I was in
I know.
fourth,
I
fifth
remember.
grade, and
I remember.
right, and a lot of
Yeah.
times I love what you said too, and especially now because of Coach Joe Biden, his stuttering problems and what he's
Yeah.
trying to do help people is
Right.
it's such a great thing. 'Cause a lot of people don't know how that impacts children a lot.
Hey,
They don't know. Right.
yeah, buddy, I'm telling you because I did not want to speak in class.
Right.
I didn't want to read, and I love to read, but I
Mm-hmm.
stopped reading because the study didn't really develop until like really in fifth and sixth grade. I guess it
Mm.
really came, it really manifested in sixth grade. You
Right.
know, I was at a regular elementary school, and then when the city and things they wanted to test out integration. They wanted us to go to
Mm-hmm.
another school. So I was selected to go to a school, which was a white school. I live in DC, and so I was in the Adams Morgan neighborhood, but then they wanted us to go like across Connecticut Avenue, a
Mm-hmm.
white neighborhood, to this other school. And so, and of course, my grandmother, being one who always wanted someone to get a better education, what she thought. And so she said, yeah, you go for the program. And so I went to that
Right.
program. I went there, but I was in a school where the white people didn't want me. There was only one other black person in my classroom.
Mm.
Teacher didn't want us there, and she let us know. And so I
Wow.
experienced racism then, and it was strange. It was really strange. And so, and then it was when I went to school, I wasn't comfortable because of the
Mm.
teacher and the white students and how they treated us. But
Right.
when I came home, some of the blacks were upset because I had left school and gone to this white school. So they were saying I wanted to be better than what I was, because of it. And then
Which you were.
that brought the stuttering on, because
Right.
I wasn't, there was no place that I was really safe,
Right.
if you know what I'm saying. You
Yeah,
know,
I absolutely do.
yeah,
Absolutely. And
and
then
so
without the
that's
help,
how it
I would
was.
have got. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I had to go ahead and just do what I could do, man. And so, like I'm telling you, uh, I just had to muddle through for a while, but then
Right.
it began to go. And when I was in college, I took speech, because you had to take speech. They wanted to see
Mm-hmm.
what we spoke or whatever. So I took speech, but the speech teacher told me I was too comfortable in class. So
Mm.
you might as well go now because you know what to do. So I had to practice all of those things, the
Right.
slowing down, or the other little things that you do to try to take a breath or what have you, in order
Mm-hmm.
to not do it. And then and then if I'm comfortable and really comfortable and at ease, I'm not stuttering,
Right.
but then I can tell when one is getting ready to come on, and then I'll take that breath, you know. you
Yeah,
know,
it's ongoing process of that of
yeah, it
learning how to
is.
right.
But I tell the kids though that, hey, it's me. It's who I am. And so
Right.
it's who I am. So you got to love the whole me. You can't just put that on the side and say, well, okay, yeah, I like him, but he stuttered. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not gonna let you do that. Then you don't like me. And
Right.
so you have to understand that if it's something about you that somebody doesn't like, they don't like you. And I don't care. Don't let them tell you that. Well, I like you, but no, it's no but.
Right.
Not a real but, not a real but. I like you and I wish you could do this, but I'm not going to put you down because you do it and say, well, I like you. But if you didn't do that, then I like you so much better.
Right.
No, there's a way to go about it. And so that's how it is, man. And so let's go to another question.
Oh no, I got no.
No,
I'll let
you
no.
dropped
I
in. You
look
dropped in
no. Miss Allo, you was
the
saying a lot of good stuff that a lot of kids need to
All
hear,
right.
especially Generation Z. Like, and like a lot of kids suffer with that, and they don't feel comfortable talking
Yeah,
about it in
they do.
Germany, and
They
especially
do.
you as an older person is telling your story of how it is a process. Like you're
Yeah.
still working with it,
It's
and
the
people,
process. It's a process.
right,
And and if I have to, I'm still a little leery, when it's time to get up. Like if I had to get up on stage and announce something for the class, I'm kind of, well,
mm-hmm.
am I going to be careful now? You have to watch out. I mean, it's always there. It's in the
Right,
back of your head, but it's cool.
right.
It's all right. It happens sometimes, but
No,
not too often. It happens every once in a while. It'll happen.
no,
Then I'm just over it. What can I say? I do,
no.
like I said, I done it in class. All right, yeah, okay. You know.
That's big. That's commendable because a lot of people want to talk about that, and that's something that our community talk about. Stuff like that
Mhm.
really hinders us, to
Yeah.
show ourself. We need to show
Mhm.
ourselves and love us, like you said. Love you
Yeah.
love all of me. You don't take pieces. You gotta
Right.
love the
Yeah.
whole. Yeah, so I like that. All right, so let's go move. I love. Let's
All
move to the
right.
next question though. All right. So, how do you think your role as a male educator impacts students in a female-dominated industry?
Well, I would. I think it does a lot for every child in the classroom or in the school to see a strong male image walking through the school and carrying himself in such a way that he deserves and calls for your respect. Uh, Not that I have to be your teacher, but just the idea that a male is there, a strong man who speaks firmly but lovingly, and and that that person really has your best interest at heart. I would love to see males in school and teaching in the early grades,
Mm,
kindergarten, first
yeah,
grade, teaching all the grades, not only sixth or fifth,
right,
but the beginning, grades. If children saw that, then they would see that it's an okay profession. It's
mm,
fine to be a teacher. Um, they need so many children, and not their fault, but they come from homes where
right,
single parent is mostly a mom.
hmm
Um, they need to see that male image, have that male image there. And like I'm saying, know that male loved education so much that he came back to do it and to give
right,
back. and to give back what he got, and that he wants to be there for children that young who need him, and just the guidance and that voice, that voice, and see that it's not all women. It's just not all women right there. Okay, I'm going to another woman. Then I'm going to another woman. Then I got to go home to another woman. No. But to see that there's a man there who cares, and who they can trust and believe in. Once a child believes in you, then you got them. You got them, and you can move them and channel them in the right direction. The direction that, especially if you could see the direction that they are trying to get to, then you could steer them in that direction. If they decide to move off of that track for whatever reason, then they'll think about it before they do that, before they go so far. If they have believed in you enough and they haven't been like corrupted by what's around them on the outside, if they are in that type of area, then they'll go back and believe, or even if they do something wrong, then they'll think about it again. So maybe as they sit and think about what they've done and think about it, what they've been taught, or those images will start to come back to them if they reflect on, well, how did I get here? Then they'll remember and go on. That's one thing that I've always liked about teaching. I see, I see the students. Uh, I'm lucky. I call it lucky because I live in the same neighborhood like where I teach. I just no where I taught at Magnolia.
Right.
So, however, I was lucky because I lived on the other side of the boundary. So the kids over where I live don't go to Magnolia. I have to go up the street or whatever. So if I go to Safeway or to one of the malls in the area, I'll see some students there, which is always great. I don't mind. I love that, seeing them out there, because I get to see kids that I've taught years ago. And so, and that it's always great to hear someone call your name and come running, and, and then you see them and they're like, and they see you, and then it's like, all of a sudden, just for that brief moment, they become that sixth grade student one more time, and then they try to change into being an adult. See, that's the fun thing when you catch them trying to be an adult. They want to change back now. Oh, you don't even know who I am. Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. I remember you were at the water fountain, whatever. So they're like, Mr. Allen, I do remember. I remember you, But yeah.
I was going to say that's definitely so powerful. I remember our first podcast that we had with another group. We were talking about like when was the first time you had a male teacher? And lucky for me, I had it early with Mr. Lampkin in 4th grade. Yeah, that was my first male teacher, and it was just like Mr. Lampkin. He said that he set the bar, and it was just like it was a great example and a great influence to coming from a male teacher. And I can just say that having that influence, like you said, like it definitely is different than having like a teacher who's a man. It gives you that kind of, not a father figure view, but it's more of like a mentor view. And even for a teacher appreciation day, I would never forget, I gave him like a framed poem just expressing like just how much I appreciated that. And Magnolia is famous for, the great teachers. So then we had Mr. Allen and Mr. Boyd. So we had some really
Mr.
nice
Price. Mr. Price.
Yeah, Mr. Price.
But what I
was in Mr. Price class.
Yeah. But what I liked about that, or what I liked about all of those teachers who you mentioned, we all are teachers, but each one of us is different.
Right.
Each one of us is different. I mean, seriously different, and we teach in different ways. Mr. Lampkin was like straight up and down, serious. Mr. Price was like there, but not as much. He would laugh, but he wasn't as much. Mr. Board is like fun. Boom, let's to the hill. Whatever. He was just fun. But he could be, if he got upset with you, he let you know that he was upset, and you were disappointed if he was upset with you. That was the thing. See, that's the thing. When when a child is, dang, I made him upset, and they feel it. They feel it, and then they try to come back, especially when they don't know how to come back. They don't know what to do. So you got to come like, stand up next to them, whatever. And then they're like, okay, we all right. Yeah, we all right, cool. But and so and I'm different from the three of them. Period. I'm like loud and booming and whatever, because like I'm telling you, I'm going to do me. And so, but the children know, they understand that, and they could see that there are different type of men who are men who love what they do and do it because they love it. Do it because they love it and love the children and want to get the best out of them. Then they would have a different look when they see people on the street. When they see people, they would have a different feel as when they walk through the different area. They understand then, they're getting it. And you know, that's what we need. We need so much more of that
Right.
now, especially right now that things are the way they are. We need that right now.
Yeah, and I can attest to that when I was doing my substitute teaching, and I was sometimes permanent sub, and I was in the classrooms a lot and learning the interaction of how the kids really gravitate towards the male sometimes, and
Mhm.
uh, how when I get upset, like all teachers do get upset sometimes, how they would, like you said, try to come back to you, and
Yeah.
because they was upset, and then they would set the bar higher. So um, it's like you said, it's a relationship. It's that type of relationship, and it's I'm not gonna lie. I'm sometimes I'm kind of sad sometimes because I miss them because I never got to say goodbye because of the
Okay.
pandemic,
Really? Okay. All right. Yeah.
and it's like wow. I think I pray for them, I think about it all the time, but it's like
Mhm.
dang, I hope they're doing all right. And I know you doing the same thing,
Yeah. Of course, man.
right?
Yeah. 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 I have like I was saying, I have students now that I know would benefit more from being in the classroom if we could be in the classroom.
Right,
They would get so much more than they're getting now.
absolutely.
Than they're getting now. They would see so much more. They would be like into it more than they are. A lot those who are really getting it now are those who would get it anyway. If you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
They're those who would be on it if they're in classroom or, most of the majority of them, they get it because that's just them, who they are. They want to get it. They want to get. But there are others who like it's time for them to play.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like bring them back and kind of drag them back in, and then as soon as they think that that you offer them, they kind of slide back out again, and you got to start all over. I know you out there. Turn that camera. You know,
All right. Nah,
yeah,
I feel you. I
amazing.
feel you. I
Yeah.
like that. So now let me ask you a question based on so you've been in the education system for a long time. So let me ask you this question.
All right.
What do parents slash government officials need to do in order to improve our school system?
You say parents improving the school system. Well, let me start with parents. Uh, more parents doing more parents being into what their children are doing in school. First of all, um, parents not so quick to put blame on teachers for any shortcoming of their child, or parents who don't, if they have a disagreement or their child says that the teacher did something, then uh, talk to the teacher first, as opposed to let me go to the school and whip this teacher's behind because teacher said something to my child, that kind of thing. Um, you need parents to be more into what we're doing. As to you say you want to be the partner, well then be our partner. We do our part to teach the child. Then you do your part to make sure the child is doing the homework and the things that they need to do in order to best get the lesson that we're giving them. And I'm not saying you have to be able to do all the work or
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what the work is, but you let the child know that, hey, where's your homework? Show it to me. Let me see it. Let me see what's on the computer. Show it to me. Did you turn it in? Show me that you submitted it. Take it back. and then you send it back in. Let me see you bring it back, and let me see the work, and then now you can resubmit it, so that when we say, I got your child's work, but nothing was attached to it. Well, I know they're attached to it. What you mean? You know they're attached to it? Did you really say, well, no, I didn't see them in it? Just do it. See, let them know that, hey, I'm on you. You have to do your part. This is your job. This is your job is to study and get those grades. Your grades are your paycheck.
Right.
Your grades are your paycheck. This is what you do. You Parents just can, if they come to the school, which they should be able to come to the school, and but not necessarily just walk into a classroom. Let someone know you're coming in. Can I come in? I want to come in. But if you come in, then don't just walk around the classroom to see what the teacher's doing. Fit in, do something. Can I, is there anything we know you come in to see us. We know that part, and to see what we're doing, but help out a little bit. Really, really look at what we go through. Look at what we do. Look at the children. See exactly how we try to do what we do. Imagine just put yourself in our place for a while, just for a moment or two to see what's going on. If you say,
It should be
like,
like teachers they need body cams.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I'd hate to wear one, but I hear you. And I understand. Yeah, you're right. In some instances, you can be right because kids do so much, and that your child is not going to do it when you're there. So, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to do it. So trust that, just trust it, but they need to uh go get with the school system itself, and let the school system know that there are things that they need and they want, that because I think that some of the high schools and things are just too big now.
Absolutely.
They're so big with thousands of children in there. They're just too big. The teachers never really get a chance to know who's who or to see what's what. You got thousands of people running all up and through. And I know I just think that the schools that they're building now are just too large, too
They're
many.
building more homes than houses. As somebody real
Yeah,
estate, there's more homes being built, and there's not enough schools being built, especially in PG
right.
County area.
There
At
you
least,
go. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so, but when they do build the school, they build a school so large and kids are all bussed all the way in. So they have to get up too early in the morning to go to school because the buses have to go all the way across. Then they got to go back, pick up another load and do the other thing. And so you got kids coming in. The kids come in and they have to get up at 5 o'clock in order to be in school at 7:30. When they sleep. They're like sleepy. When you have to wake them up you have to wake them up. I've had to wake up children as I pass in the hallway because they fall asleep again once they get off the bus. And so then they, but they're not either there. What I'm saying is that they could like go to the school board and let them know that, hey, it's just too early in the morning. And I realize that you got to get people in and out, but the schools are just too big. And more people could just walk to school. If I could just walk to where my school is, the school is right there, and we could just walk to school. I don't have to be bussed all over. That would be a good thing too. I'm thinking, the classroom sizes are still too large, and
Absolutely.
they know, that they know that children learn better in a smaller setting, smaller classroom setting, and so, but the classroom has 30 kids in it, 32 kids, and
Miss
it's
McCormick had 38 kids, second grade.
yeah. See what I'm saying? It's difficult to reach all those kids at that. You can't do it. You can't give the children what they need when you have so many. A good mix of like 15 to 20 kids, 15 to 20. You can do wonders with 15 to 20 kids in a classroom. 30 kids, that's too much. 32, too much. Too much. I'm just, that's the thing though. And I wish that the parents would go and complain about that. Those types of things, those things. Um, Different curriculum, I would say in some parts, they have to, you know, get people to go and fuss for that too. They've taken too much out, like no phonics. Generally, not you don't have children don't have phonics or whatever. They've left those things out because
Don't have like the
don't
stuff
have
you got
civics.
back.
no civics, no phonics, no home ec, unless you
Mhm.
go to that type of school or whatever. No more shop,
And
no
that's
more
one thing I
credit.
would say, like that would help boost the economy, make it help give the business because school not for everybody, college not for everybody,
Yeah,
and it's
college
okay.
not for everyone.
And
True.
it's okay
It's,
if as long
it,
as you have a trade or
mhm,
some type of way you can
right,
earn extra income, start a
right,
business is
right.
great. But by them taking away from it, it's like you send them out there once they graduate from high school, and it's like it's hard. You
Mhm,
know,
right. It
you don't
is.
have, like you say, your home life is not all right
Yeah.
and stuff going on, so it's
So
hard.
you need that, they did uh parents should lobby for there to be classes like finance classes, stock, how to manage a checkbook, things like that, how to get a bank account, things that people that children need to know, that they need to
Mhm.
know, those type of things that they don't know now, that they could benefit from if they knew that, you know.
Right.
Uh, if you want, I mean, they do career day, but it wouldn't hurt to have a little more than in every quarter be somebody coming in talk about a different, talk about something, how to be an entrepreneur or whatever, you know. Um, those type of things, they make it too difficult for sometimes. If we want to do a field trip, we have to put the field trip paper in like about 6 weeks in advance,
Mm.
which means if something comes up that boom, all of a sudden you get this advertisement and say there's this play at this playhouse, but it's in 3 weeks, you can't go because you had to put the request in 3 weeks earlier and you didn't know about it until now. So,
Right.
then we stop things like in May. So if there's something happening June 1st, too bad. You
Mm.
can't go. It's June. So trips are over. I mean, those type of things, I think that those types of things are, shouldn't be, those types of things shouldn't be. So parents have to lobby for those type of things.
Right.
School board should know they should do that. They should put more emphasis on how the teachers think about what the teachers think about rather than the principals. How do the principals are important, of course, of course, but how do the teachers really feel? You need to ask more and question, survey more teachers. How do you really feel? What do you think we need? I
Right.
mean, we can say a lot. We could say a lot.
Right. And a lot of times decision being made about education not being made by educators,
There you
especially
go,
the
and
government.
that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, right. The educator's not asked anything at
Never been in the
all.
classroom, never that department of education never been in the classroom, never experienced
Yeah,
the movement, none of that. It's like it's like prime time. Like it's like all
you
the
know,
eyes on
right,
you, and it's like you
right.
got this going on, that going on, and
Yeah,
it's such a. I'm not trying to take away from the situation, but it's a lot, and
yeah. It
imagine
is. It is. It's quite a lot.
grading,
It's quite
you
a
have your
lot.
own personal life as well. It's
Yeah,
a lot,
and
So
I think that it's too much testing,
mm,
way too much testing, too much testing. You know, I'm not to say nothing against tests, but it's just too much, too often. You know, too
would you
much.
say like type of testing too, like
Yeah,
types of
like
tests? Like I know,
like standardized tests.
right,
Standardized tests. Too many standardized tests that you have to take. You got to take this test. You got this, and each test has a different acronym. So you got to take this test. You're gonna take the M da da da. You're gonna take the P da da da. And now it's time for this one too. Well, how many are there?
right,
How many times do you have to measure what I'm learning? Don't you do that when you give the regular test in school? So who are you trying to show? Where do
right,
all these tests? Where do these scores go? Who are okay, you tell someone, well, look, do your best because you're being measured against not all the children in the school, but all the children in the county. No, but now it's not all the children in the county, it's all the children in the state of Maryland. So now you're being
wow,
measured. And the kids are like, really? We being measured with all of them. And what number am I going to be? And no, it's not like that. But it is, it
mm-hmm,
is like that because you're going to fall somewhere and you're going to
mm-hmm,
be a number. But we do too much of it. And the children become like, oh, they become upset, anxious. Some they try to rush through because they're tired. They're
right,
tired of that part of it. You
right.
know, they're tired of that part of it. And so that's what I think about that one.
No, that's everything you said because oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Now, I was just gonna say I agree. Like, I just don't think the education system has changed in too drastically in a way. You know, you have some schools popping up with different curriculums and trying innovative ways to change things, but in terms of public schools, it's kind of like, you know, you go through school, you get, you know, the regular teaching, and then you get tests, and that's it. You
Yeah.
grade it and you get a grade, and that's what you are, and it kind of follows you. And I think that's something, like you said, we have to definitely get innovative with how we approach education and
Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
and
True.
evaluation and all that in general.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna jump into the next question. Chris, did you
Okay.
have something else to say on that part?
Oh no. I'm totally agreeing with everything said. We got to. Man. Well, real quick,
Ah,
real quick.
see,
What?
look.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What is it? Go ahead.
Nah,
Come.
I used to just going back what you said about accountability. You know, I used to say all the time, "Help me, help you." And
Okay. Yeah.
what that meant was I'm gonna do my part, but
Hmm.
you got to do your part. And I told the
Right. Yeah.
kids out time like I'm not gonna hold your hand because nobody ever held my hand. But I never hold my hand, you know. But he was there every step of the way, you know. And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. I told I would walk beside you each day and help you,
There you go. Yeah.
but
Right.
I'm not gonna hold your hand because I don't
There
want to
you go.
enable you, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's one thing we all gotta do. Parents, it's a system. Like if people
Hmm.
like it's like working on something and you doing something. Okay, boom, and if somebody got a car, let's say you got a car and like you won't put gas in it like that. Mechanic only do but so much.
Hmm.
You gotta do the work too. So it's a yin and
Okay.
yang thing we all have to do as a society.
Right.
Get
I
work.
agree with that. I agree. Yeah.
Go ahead now.
Definitely. All right, so Mr. Allen, you spoke on the curriculum and how that could change. I actually wanted to know, have you ever had to educate, just in your experience teaching students on topics that weren't included on the curriculum, such as being an African American in America, or I mean anything outside of that?
You do that. You try to do that, but how you do that is, or how I found that I could do it, because if it's not in the curriculum, you're not supposed to teach it. They didn't say you couldn't talk about it. But it doesn't say you can't talk about it. You can't teach it. You can't teach it. You know, you can't make that like a regular thing you do. But but if they ask a question, you can answer it, because that's called a teachable moment.
Right. That's a creative solution right there.
So you try to throw out little things that can help you have a teachable moment. You know, you toss out a little idea here or there. You know, you slide in something so, and they pick up on it, and they like, okay, well, you know, well, Mr. Allen, why does da? And then you can, oh, well, wait a minute, class, so and so asked like, what's this? And so, well, let me take a minute to try to explain that to you, and then you can go on, and then you can kind of get in a little, see how they feel about it, and what they want to share, because then those are like when the kids really begin to pick up on things. Are those moments? Those moments are precious, and they can be really, really mind blowing when you have this big conversation with the class about certain things. And then you go right on back to what you were doing. Okay, we have to stop here. And if you want to ask them, well, we can discuss that later. Or if you want to talk about it later, we can. And then you go back to your lesson. And then eventually, you know, then someone's going to say, well, what, you know, about the other day we were talking about, hurry up, I'll give you a few minutes. What do you want to know? And then you go on, you know. But you know, you can't make it an everyday thing, because it will, you know, because you are expected to do the pacing, pacing, you know, and the pacing is another thing too, you know, how you pace your lessons out, and you know, you got to teach this by this date or whatever, or this time it's going to all be there. A lot of times that's too fast. Doesn't give the child enough time, because you don't have enough time to go back and reteach. You know, you don't really get the chance to go back and reteach, because you got to take this group out that didn't get that concept, but you don't want to hinder those who got the concept and have them keep listening to those who didn't. Then you got to move them on, and then you got to come back and try to move them to where they were before they moved on. And a lot of times, if we didn't have to go so fast, then we would have a chance to use those who got it, then they could peer teach and teach those who need it. That way it will save the teacher. Then you can really go to that one who's just not getting it at all,
Right.
because they're helping each other out. So now you can go to this one and work with that one. And I know a lot of teachers do that. We have to find it. we find so many ways to get it done, to just get it done. It's like, wow, you know, and most teachers, one thing about teaching that I find amazing, because I found that a lot of teachers say the same thing, is that we always in school mode, always. We'd be out, out somewhere, and you pass the windows. Well, I could use that in my class. And so you go in there and you get it. And you're not even thinking about teaching, but bam, boom, there it is. It's right there. It's right there. Or you like you're at the Safeway, so all right, you pick up this little bag of snacks, you take it in, so it's gonna be a Friday or something, and so you're like, here, okay, guys, we got this treats on Friday treat day or whatever, just because you feel like it, and the class deserved it or whatever, and they work toward it and they enjoy doing it, so they're like, hey, it's Friday. What Friday is this? Treat Friday. Okay, everybody deserves it. Yeah, everybody got it. So then, we go on and we get that done, but we do so much. we do so much. And and the thing that I kind of feel bad for sometimes are children of teachers, because a lot of times and when they're parents and teachers, they don't have a lot of time to give to their own children, because they give into so many others. By the time they get they're kind of worn out by the time they get home, so they need some rejuvenation. And then by the time their kids come running right to them, mama, and they're like, move, not yet. And the kids like, oh, mom, I just want to tell you this. I know, baby, I'm sorry. you know and it's like, and you don't mean to do it, but you're tired, you're worn out, you got to grade papers in a few minutes, and then you got that few little minutes of quiet, and then bam, here they come. You got to put that face on. Hi, how you doing? You're like, drug right now. Did you have to come in here right now? So I plus my hat goes off to teachers who are parents and have small kids too. Especially, you got to worry about what your teenage boy did. Where's he going now? You got to worry about so much right now. We have a lot to worry about.
You're still teaching, Mr. Allen, so it shows your passion. Definitely. I know teaching is not an easy job at all. So hats off to you and all the educators, like you said.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep on for a while longer. I think, I feel pretty good. I still feel kind of young. So
hey, you look good, Mr. Allen. I ain't gonna hold you. You look the same like you did when I was sixth grade. So
I'm all gray now, but it's
all right.
I look all right for somebody getting ready to be 73.
You lying?
Okay, now.
For real?
Huh? Say what?
That's a blessing.
February, baby. February 23rd. Going to hit that 7-3 mark, but I feel good. The kids know it, though. The kids don't believe it. It's fun. The kids don't believe it. I believe it. So it's all right.
That's God right there. You look good.
I know, man. You're right. I'm blessed. And the kids keep you young. See, that's the thing. You like what you're doing. The kids keep you there. And that's another thing too. Especially if you enjoy what you do and you into it. Hey, if I woke up in the morning and thought about not teaching, I don't know. It gave me a minute when I retired. So what I'm saying, when I retired, I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'll try to sing. I'll try to do this. I'll sub every 2 days a week or whatever. But then they said, hey, the phone rang and they say, well, why don't you come back? I'm like, no. And then it rang again. Why don't you come on back? And I'm like, well, you know what? I'll think about it, okay? Because, I don't want to turn you down 3 times. You call me back. Because you call me back one more time, okay? Call me back one more time, and then I'll say, okay. See, that call came. Okay, you did call back. All right, I'll do it now. And I'll come back. I'll do it again. And I would do it again. I don't know about going back in the classroom yet, though, but, what
right.
What can I say? If I have to, though, if it really, really calls for it, just have to give me a hazmat suit, because I'm gonna be there.
I can see you in one too.
Hello? And I'll rock
right in there.
I'll rock it too. Face shield and everything, baby. You know how.
I already know.
Have a designer hazmat suit and say yes.
But can I ask you something? Like,
you sure
this
can.
is something that one time when I was in class, I was in my second graders at time, 7 of my second graders, and it was talk about we're doing the health books,
Uh-huh.
and the topic came up about I'm getting choked up. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. The topic came up about police
Mm-hmm.
and what they should do is like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I froze, and that's the first time I ever freezing because
Right.
I didn't want to. I couldn't I couldn't look in their eyes and tell them, the the true essence of it for real. But
Mm-hmm.
luckily I had Miss Yates. She was in there, and she was able to facilitate that, and I was piggyback on. But like, how do you deal with those moments? Them like
Uh,
that, that is. It was hard for me to bring it out. It was hard for me to
mhm.
talk about it, and
Right.
luckily she was there to
Right.
cover
Yeah.
me and stuff like
Right.
that. But
Yeah.
it's something I still struggle on this day because tell second graders about police in general right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Right. Yeah.
is
Mhm.
it's hard. It's hard.
It is. It's hard. It's hard, but you just do it the best way you can. There's no formula.
Right.
It's never there is no formula. You just do it the best way you can. If you don't feel comfortable, then you tell the children, like, you know, I I'd like to discuss it with you, but I really don't feel comfortable doing that right now. So
Right.
and then you move on. You just move on, and then it'll go away. It'll go away because you dealt with it. They know that, hey, don't bother you about it. At least not right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if you have to deal, because there's sometimes and when you have to talk about it, because you have guys at that age, and then you just have to tell them about police and what some police do, and that not all police are like that,
Absolutely.
but some
Absolutely.
are, and so you have to be careful. You have to be careful anyway, but you have to not have a smart mouth. You have to do the and you go through all the complying things that you're supposed to do that we tell our sons anyway, about complying, and
Mm-hmm.
you hope that they'll do it. You just hope that they'll do it, and you say, it's hard. It can be difficult. It can be difficult, and but you tell them that police are human, and not all of them like us
Right.
as they should. Their job is to serve and protect, but sometimes they don't do their job, just like other people all the time don't do their job either. Except for with policemen, it matters more because they're supposed to protect you. Other people may not be in that position, but they're supposed to, so you don't expect it. But when they do, you really have to hope that you can do everything that's asked of you, and hope that this one that will stop them from taking it any further. But you can never tell. You never know when it's. I mean, you could prepare somebody for a lot of things, and when it happens, they still are like unprepared for it because they
Right.
didn't expect it right then. So
Right.
they don't remember what to do. And but you hope that what you told them will help them. And they will be careful about what they say or how they respond or how they react and whatever. But these things happen, and so yeah, we have bad people everywhere, and sometimes the bad people are those who are supposed to help you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would be the same if a teacher abused a child, and you would,
Right.
it'd be the same thing because sometimes it's that someone is supposed to protect you didn't do it, but you gotta let them know that not all are like that, and
Absolutely.
not everybody's like that, and so you know, um, things that you do, things you don't do, you have to make them aware of those kinds of things, the things
Mm-hmm.
to protect themselves, you know. And
Yep.
teachers
Absolutely.
and we have to be careful too as men. You have to be careful. You can't be in a classroom with any student by themselves.
Right.
You have to be vigilant about that and make sure they understand that part.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they get too close to you. You have to know you got to back up a little bit. No, you get a little too close and let them know that, hey, you stand there, we stand. We have our space, that you have your space, and
Right.
everybody's space is to be respected. And so you talk to them about things like that and make sure that they know it. And I've told you before, back up, and then you let them know that, boom, I'm stern now and I'm not playing. Boom, face, no, I've already told you, you're too close to me. Back up. This is my space. That's your space. We all have our little area. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I love you, but I can love you from over here and over there.
Right.
You know, it's fine. But you have to make them understand that part. Not that you can't be touched. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
that. Not that you can't be touched, because you don't want them to feel that way either.
Right.
That you are the kind of person who, I can't touch you. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
not that. It's not that at all. But you just, maybe if I could see you, in front of me, then that would
Right.
be fine. Then we could touch like that. Hey, I'm a bump shoulders or whatever, fists or
Right.
whatever.
Establishing the boundaries.
Yeah, you have to establish the boundaries. Thank you. That's that. Yeah, that's it. Establishing boundaries. So though, but that all ties into what you were saying, to what to where you first posed your question. So, and back to that, yeah, you just let them know that everybody's different. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
different. You got bad apples or whatever, sometimes. But and then you let them know too that sometimes when bad apples are in with the good fruit, it just messes up everything. And so a lot of times you get more bad apples than you do good ones, you know. And let's hope that if you did get a bad apple, you would know what to do if that bad apple ever approached you know.
Definitely. All right, Mr. Allen, we have three more questions.
Three
Still here
more.
with us
I'm here. Three more.
right now.
Just
All right.
three more.
Come on. I can take three.
Perfect. So tell us, how valuable is it for students to understand the history of African Americans just beyond slavery and the few iconic symbols
Yeah.
that we know, Rosa Parks, MLK, Harriet Tubman. What do you think?
Right.
What value does that provide for young Black
If
students?
you okay, knowing your history or knowing about your history, and not that you have to know everybody's name. It's not that. Not that you have to know exactly who did what. You know that, but you know that we did it. That we did it. Just to know that we did it. That it was done by somebody. That's so important to know that everything wasn't done by somebody Caucasian. Everything, everything of note wasn't done by somebody Asian or whatever. That so much was done, and you want to know, you want to appreciate it. So yes, I would always one thing I would always do is have my students to do a book of African American, of course, African American History Month. So I would do either they would make a scrap, a book, a scrapbook of different African American figures. Um, and then I would always tell them that they could only have like so many entertainers. They had to get some from every career or whatever that they could think of, other than just entertainment. So I wanted some in medicine, some in education, some in politics, so
I
forth.
remember that project.
Yeah. And then you would do it from A
I
to
was
Z.
gonna say, I think I did Garrett Augustus Morgan. I never forget him.
Yeah,
Look, he made the
you know,
I
traffic
did.
yeah,
light.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did George
yeah,
Washington Carver. Yep.
yeah. See, and then I would have some. They would come. They would have to select a person from the past, and then they would have to come in and represent that person and present themselves as that person. How they think the person would talk, and then what they would say and what they did, and they would come. And they enjoyed that so much, and it meant so much. And there were other teachers who had, like, people do the wax museum, and the person was somebody, and you would go around, you would touch the person, and they would all of a sudden become that person and start talking. So and it let the African American children know that they have done something before you, that people have done things and made things, because before, all you learn about were those few, those few African Americans. And you only learned about African American History Month. And you got those three. They tried out the same little, okay, here comes the wagon with George Washington Carver and Benjamin Banneker, and then here comes Harriet Tubman. So you got those all the time. Or they did Martin Luther King, but sometimes they got mad because they'd already done him in January, so they didn't want to do him again in February. We had him last. Didn't we have him last month? So they get kind of mad. But so you want to incorporate others and so forth. But when a child knows that those who came before him or her have done something meaningful and been somebody, and they get a feeling inside that you can't take back, that yes, I mean something and I can do it too. If they can do it, If they can do it and make it during the time that they went through, and then I can do it now. I'm able to do it now. I should be able to do it now because I have it better than they had it. You know, they were killed or beaten if they try to learn to read. I can learn to read. No one's gonna beat me. You
Right.
know, I'm trying to learn to read. So hey, but you don't want to throw it in their face, because they don't want to hear that either.
Right.
Man, they could read in slavery time. You can learn to read now. No, that's not gonna work. But you make them want to. They want you. Okay, you tell them about it, and then I'm gonna give you a book, and this is the person here I want you to find out about. You like that phone so much, read about the person who made the phone. This
Right.
digital, this digital phone. You know, look at the person who did this. Find it. You talk about a person who was a good general or good crook. Let me give you Robert Smalls, who stole the ships. Stole the boats.
Mm-hmm.
And let me talk about that one. Find him. Find someone. Talk about boxers. Okay, let me come back with Jack Johnson. You know, Jack Johnson.
Definitely. And
Somebody. Let me give you Jack Johnson or somebody. So yes, that's important to know. It's important to know where you came from. It gives you a sense of belonging and grounds you. So they need to be grounded. Because they've been bombarded all the time with, you always hear great white people who've done stuff. The statues, the monuments, they're mostly white people. They're becoming a little different now, but for the most part they have been. So you see them all over the place. So yes. And I wish we could do like, that we could learn more about ancient Egypt and Africa and things like that. That we never learn those. It's difficult to get that in. It's always put in curriculum in school at the end of the curriculum. So you never
Mm-hmm.
the teacher you hardly get to that one, because left it out again because I couldn't really get to it. You
Right.
know. So yes, I think it would be very, very beneficial for African American
definitely.
children to know
And
who they are, where they've come from.
yeah, I would say it's also a confidence booster. I gotta just
Yes.
share a quick story.
Yeah.
I had a little girl. She once said to me, well, white people are better, and I was just like, huh? What do you
Yeah.
like? First of all, it's not a competition. It was never that. But don't
Yeah.
ever try and belittle the idea that just because you're black, you're less than.
Yeah. Right.
With your skin color, you're less than. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you're told when you're in school, this is where black history starts, at slavery, this is the main
Yeah.
part of black history, this is the only part other than now of black history. It's like, you get that perception of, oh well, just being black is being a slave, or we're always the underdogs. And don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, we have the struggles, but we also have the brains, we also have the
Yeah.
mindset to get
Yeah.
through those struggles. And it's
You
just
give them
like,
both. You
mhm,
give them both, though. You give them both. You
right,
give them both. The history of the Negro in America, you want
mhm,
to call that, may have started with slavery. Well, we
right.
came from somewhere else. It started before we got here. So you
Mhm.
try to give them that part, that when we were kings and queens, and this is what we did. This,
That's
this is
Chris
what we,
line right there.
this is
Stealing
what
my
we,
lines, Mr. Allen.
huh?
Stealing my lines.
I'm sorry, baby. I
I
don't know.
love it. No, no, no. It's
No,
great. It's great.
yeah, I mean, but you want them to know that this is where we came from, and then we were taken from, taken there, and you let them know about it, that and those Africans who sold us into slavery, they didn't know that it would be this bad. They thought it would be like when they kept, so they can keep them, and then they let them go after a while. They can buy their freedom back, buy their freedom and get out. They worked in servitude for a while, but then a lot of times they became free after a while. But and that's what they thought perhaps would have happened. I'm quite sure that they wouldn't, if they had they known what was going to be the fate of those they sold. I I hope to God that they wouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? That they would not have been part in it, you know, at that time. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that the more learning should be done for
Definitely.
African Americans or whatever.
So,
Absolutely.
Mr. Island, share with us. Do you have a favorite African American historical figure, and who is it, and like, why is that your favorite, if you have one?
I even when I saw the question, I was like, I don't know. I really don't. it would be difficult to say who would be the favorite one, because I think that so many have done so many different things. I just love us as a people. You know, I really love us as a people. We've overcome so much and done so much. I laugh because I was thinking about that today when you said it. And I was saying, well, I wondered how it sounds if I say Berry Gordy, you know, Berry Gordy, because he brought the sound of Motown, what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but I love that, I love that. I love Charles Drew with the blood bank, and blood plasma, blood plasma, so I really don't, I like James Baldwin, the writer, and the things that he wrote and the things that he stood for, the things that he went through, and the things that he shared. You know, I love Langston Hughes, and
I
his
like it.
poetry, and whatnot. Of course, I love Harriet Tubman, and and the fact of what she did. So, and of course, it goes without saying, Dr. Martin, and that he was so much more than what they give him credit for. As far as that I Have a Dream speech, he was much more complicated and much more than that. So basically, I really don't have one, you know, but I just appreciate the fact that there were so many of us, so many who never really got the credit, for what they've done.
Right.
You know,
No, that's what's up.
thank you.
That's where I love the answer. That's great because there's a lot of different historical figures done a lot of great things,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
me personally, I'm a Harry Tubman fan too. I love me some Harry
Yeah.
Tubman.
See, if you like Harriet Tubman, that see the favorite or whatever. But how about Sojourner Truth? You know, Sojourner Truth was, she was on fire. Was
Yeah.
the suffrage movement or whatever. She was on fire and stuff though. So it's like, how do you weigh it? How do you
Right.
weigh for a favorite? You got one that pops up in your head when you think about it, but that might not be the favorite one still.
Right. Or you might not even know the person. You might not
Yeah,
know. You might not
yeah,
even know 'em,
true.
what they did. So
Yeah, you're right.
absolutely.
You're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. That's the last question. I promise. I promise. You've been over
Yeah.
here like a
Uh-huh.
soldier. I appreciate you. This is the last one. You ready? All
I'm
right.
ready. Go ahead. What?
Oh man. As African American male,
Uh-huh.
what message would you want to give to other races as to how we can overcome systemic racism in our country?
What I want to get to other races about
No,
overcoming racism.
overcome racism as a whole. What can we do as a people? Like, what message do you want to give to the Caucasian community, to the Native American community, to the Asian community, for us
None.
to finally,
None.
take
I
this
don't
step?
want to give them. I don't want to give them a message.
Okay,
I don't want to give them a message. They already know. They should stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop faking. No, I'm saying stop faking. Those who know, stop faking like you don't.
right.
Those who know, stop faking like you don't, and tell those who don't that they're wrong. Just like right now, tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Admit what you did and tell the truth about it, and maybe we can move on. And we'll have to keep on having these kind of conversations every so often. We'll have to keep on being in the same place all over again. You know what I'm saying? Right now, people are, even though we are really, really happy that that 45 is gone, you know, we're really, really happy that 45 is gone and that 46 and Joe Biden has come in. A lot of us are leery, leery because of what's been going on and the fact that some harm could come to him or Kamala. You know, there's something because if they can kill Kennedy, both Kennedys, they can kill Martin. These type of things can still happen. You saw them storm that Capitol. They didn't
Right.
care. They didn't care, and they didn't care. Those people did not care, and they were going for blood. And
Absolutely.
so I don't want to give them any message because they already know. Even those who stormed that Capitol know that there was a lie. They just crazy. They know, and they don't want to believe it. That's the thing. They don't want to admit it, and so uh, they know. But we need more of them who know to tell them that they're wrong and stop hiding and acting like you're on our side.
Right.
If you're on our side, then be on our side. If that's the message you want me to give them, look, stop faking and stop playing and be real. Tell
Right.
those Tell those comrades and comrades and friends of yours, you're mistaken about those black. They're not like that. Stop faking. They didn't take anything from you. They deserve just as much as they can get, just like you. You know, if you want it, you go get it. You go earn it. You know, you want your place to look better, clean it up, sweep it up. Okay, you live in a trailer, fine. Your trailer has to look crazy. Plant some flowers outside. You can do it. You know, you can do it though. You know, they got mad at us because we used to sweep off dirt floor and made the dirt floor look good. Then you sweep your dirt floor too. If you want to look like mine, don't ask me to come over and sweep before you get mad because mine looks a little better. You know, I mean, those are the things. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
We need the
And I
truth
know,
to be heard. We need the truth.
you know, but I know you said that that was the last question, but you had one that you didn't mention. Now, and it was about I don't know, it might have been maybe you did, and I kind of glossed over it.
Now, which
But
one?
it was something about teaching black boys or whatever about what to do now. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it was,
hmm,
but no, it's okay. I mean, but I was just thinking that I did.
well, answer that question then. So,
Yeah.
what do we need to
Um,
do next? What's our
you
next
know
move?
what? No, all right. You know what I'm saying? This is it. Uh, it was about the Dwayne Haskins thing that I was thinking about when I thought I saw what I saw. But you know, I thought you might have been getting into that. You know, these young boys now growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that we have to still make everybody, and especially black boys, understand, black girls too, that they have to be twice as smart.
Mm-hmm.
They have to work twice as hard to just get the basic of what somebody white gets. Still, we have to work twice as hard. We have to be twice as good, and we have to be ready. We have to be vigilant and ready for our time when it comes, and not mess it up when it comes. And what I'm saying about that, and why I mentioned Dwayne Haskins, is I think that he had a really good thing that he messed up and didn't know how to come back from it. You know, and now he's in a spotlight where he really has to come back if he's going to come back. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to see, like, what is he made of? Did he get that when he was younger? And that's what I'm saying. When you talk about black males and having them grow up, to know that, hey, I must do. I have to be ready. I have to be ready. I have to be prepared and be ready when my time comes. Because those times don't come too often. If you get it, you got to be ready, and you have to stay on the job. You know, so
Absolutely.
so what I'm saying and why I'm saying about Dwayne is he became the quarterback of a football team, a major football team in the capital of the United States of America, and he wasn't ready. You know, he stayed on the bench all that time. He's supposed to practice, work out, practice that throw, practice it. You see what that quarterback in there is doing now? I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna work on this arch and get it to fall when I want it to fall. I want you to be there. I'm gonna practice, so that when I get in there, I'm gonna be ready. Not get in there and then they say, "Well, we're gonna take you back out because you weren't ready." See, they did that, and they put you in at the end of the first season. All right. And then so now you put me at the end of the first season. So when we go to training camp, I'm gonna work before training camp to be ready. If I gotta go outside and practice in the alley, I'm gonna get some. If I gotta go to the field at 12 o'clock at midnight, and I'm gonna get my friend to come out there with me, and I'm gonna throw passes. But I'm gonna be ready when my time comes. So when training camp comes, boom, I'm ready. And so now you're gonna throw somebody else out there. I'm gonna learn it again, so I can be ready when my time comes. And then your time comes, and then you're still not ready. So he takes you back out. The coach takes you back out and puts you on the bench. See, right then again, you're supposed to say, "Hey, my time might not come again, so I'm gonna be really ready now because I already know that he's gonna take me out when he gets mad at me. I'm out." And so I'm gonna be there. I'm not gonna go home and say I'm sick. Even if I'm sick, I'm gonna be on that bench. You're not gonna know it. You know, you're not gonna know I'm sick. I'm gonna be dressed and ready to go. And then I'm still gonna learn. I'm gonna learn everything I can to be ready when my time comes, because it's gonna come again. And then the time came again and he still wasn't ready. And see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to want them to know that they must be ready. You have to work twice as hard. I know it seems unfair, but that's okay. See, that's okay. That's when you throw in about everybody who came before. Everybody came before, how they worked hard. They had to. You got to be ready. You think Jim Brown didn't work hard? You know, you
Mhm.
think they didn't, you think Doug Williams didn't work hard? He had to work hard. They all had to work hard, and they still working hard. You think that those black quarterbacks who are doing well now not working hard to stay where they are? You know, they're working. You have to be ready. You always have to, because that second chance may not come. And then what do you do? Then what do you do? And if you haven't had someone to tell you the truth about how you better learn this lesson and get it right, so that if something does happen, then maybe you can go work with children somewhere and teach them how to throw.
Right.
You know, maybe you could do that then, and you could tell them, I wasn't ready. That's why I'm doing this. So you get it now. So you won't be me come in. Yes, maybe it was just for me to come to you and see you. And maybe this is what I was supposed to do. So, but let me tell you, if this is not what you really want to do, then you be ready when your time comes. And that's the thing. That's what I want to leave you with for all of them. And that's what we have to do. And it can be for girls too. You have to be ready. When your time comes, you must be ready.
Right.
You
And
know?
I can personally relate to that. Just going through life and dealing with different obstacles. A lot of times, especially as African American male who went through the PG County area, went through DC area, and then I went to West Virginia to be out there and
Yeah.
experience sometimes the racism and stuff like that, being the
Mhm.
only black kid in the classroom and how that makes you feel and just the experience of it all. But however, it's what I'm learning is that it's how God's molding you. It's how you're getting ready, like you said, for your time. You got to keep
Mhm.
going. You got to keep
Right.
practicing. You got to keep stay
Mhm.
strong. And sometimes you're going to cry. Sometimes you're going to fall down. But it's all
Mhm.
about to get up. It's all about
Right.
that
Yeah.
chance.
It's about to
You
get
don't
up.
know.
It's about to get up.
You don't know about
Yeah.
the second chance because it's not guaranteed.
Right. It's
Especially
not.
in the line of NFL or line of any like doing a presentation or
Yeah.
anything. You never get the second chance.
Anywhere, any type of thing. You have to be ready when the time comes. And you have to be ready to accept the fact that I wasn't ready. See,
And
you
that's
have to
hard.
live
That's
with.
hard. That's
Sure, it's hard, but see, but
hmm
life is hard, and that's what
right.
you get them to understand, is that life is hard. It's not, life is not going to be easy, because everybody wants what you want. They all want what you want. So you have to be the best one at it at the time. And sure, you may not be the best one at it the next year, but you were in it when you had your chance. And not that you want to let it go, but things happen, and things do happen. So, but how do you bounce back? And you bounce back because you were taught that you were somebody, that you had a purpose, and that you must have it in your heart. You must know who you are and go for it. You can't let it go. You can't let it go. You have to go ahead. And you could always come back. You may not come back to where you want it to be, but you could come back and then you could come back, and then your purpose becomes to make others understand that I could have been there, but I'm here because I wasn't ready. Or I'm here because something happened to knock me off that path. And I decided that I didn't want to go back up there anymore, because I can help you now to look out for that little rock that might come in your way, so that you won't step on that rock and twist your foot. You know,
Right.
Can I
they
add something in right here too?
go ahead.
Real quick. So you know how people always say like that person's lucky, or
Yeah,
this person had like they get an opportunity and they always say that person got lucky because they had the opportunity. But
right.
the
Yeah,
thing about that is if the person wasn't prepared for that opportunity,
there you
they
go.
would have never had it. So and
That's it.
and the idea of that is just like you have to remember like these opportunities are going to come and pass you. And if
Mhm.
you're not prepared, it's going to pass you. You
That's
have to
it.
really you have to go and get it. It's not about luck. I try not to focus on that too much. You have to really focus on your impact and your
Uh-huh.
influence and what you can
Right.
do to actually manifest that opportunity and make light of it.
Yeah. Sure. Right. That's right. See, but that's it. But that's the thing right there. That's it right there. Right there. That's exactly it.
That's
Yes,
that
sir.
nug. Yeah, I got that from a book. It wasn't me. But
That's all right. But that's all right though. But you made it you.
Right.
You made it you. You got it from the book
did
and you
it.
made it you. That's it. Because you made it you. It's something that made you, something in that made you want to hold on to it though. See, and that's the thing. That's the thing right there. That something struck you, so you held on to it because it meant something to you because you want to be somebody. And so it's because you wanted to be somebody that, hey, I better hold on to this one because this one is me right here. And seeing those, you have to recognize it when it comes though. See, but you have to be ready to accept it. You have to be ready to accept it when it comes. You know, and those are the things, hey. But but thank you. Thank you so much to both of you.
Right, Mr. Allen, it's always a pleasure seeing you. You have been one of my greatest mentors.
Thank you.
You've been just a fabulous person, and I know you've impacted a lot of lives. You've been there as a father figure, as a mentor, as just a great person overall, Mr. Allen. And I thank you so much for taking time out your evening to be with us. And I know we've been talking for a while, but I love everything you said, Mr. Allen. What he needs to hear, what the world needs to hear, and it's such a pleasure. And I thank you so much.
No, but thank you both for thinking of me. Thinking well enough of me to want me to do this. It's been my pleasure, man. It's been my pleasure. So much. Tell your grandmother I'm only gonna charge her some potato salad for it too.
Oh, I got a funny story about that. Stay on the call. I got a funny story. All right, you all stay tuned to everything. Thank you so much, Allen. The time is now. Get with it, y'all.